Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Peace be upon you, and a very warm welcome. Today, we're going to dive deep into some truly profound verses from Surah Al-Baqarah in the Quran. We're going to explore what is basically a complete financial and spiritual ecosystem, one that touches on our wealth, the real soul of charity, and the foundations of a just and fair economy. So let's get right into it. So let's kick things off with a huge question, one that I think we all wrestle with at some point. What is wealth really for? Is it just about making ourselves comfortable and secure, or is there something more to it? The Quran immediately reframes this whole idea. It tells us that wealth isn't really our personal possession. Instead, it's a trust, and it's a spiritual test, a really powerful tool for our own growth and our own purification.
And to really get a handle on this, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the spirit of true charity. Then, we'll look at its total opposite, the prohibition of exploitative interest, which is known as riba. After that, we'll see the practical side of things, why justice through clear contracts is so important. And we'll wrap it all up by talking about our ultimate accountability to God.
Okay, our first stop is the path of giving. Now, the Quran doesn't just say, hey, you should give. No, it goes so much deeper. It teaches us how to give. And it's that intention, the manner in which we give, that turns what could be a simple transaction into a profound act of worship. And get this, the return on investment that God promises it's just staggering. Verse 261 gives this beautiful parable. Imagine a single grain, just one, given for God's sake. That one grain can grow to produce 7 ears, and each of those ears has 100 grains. I mean, do the math. That's a 700-fold return. And God can multiply even more. This totally flips the script on charity, doesn't it? It's not a loss at all. It's an eternal investment. But, and this is a really big but, that incredible reward isn't just automatic. It comes with some very important conditions that protect both the person giving and the person receiving. The Quran warns us that our charity can be totally wiped out if we engage in mun, constantly reminding someone of the favor you did for them, or if we cause adha, which is any kind of hurt or humiliation. And finally, if our giving is all about riyah, just showing off to get praise from other people. The purity of the intention, that's everything. And to really drive this home, we get 2 powerful images that show us the end result. Sincere charity, that's like a fertile garden on a hill. A big downpour of rain makes it flourish and yield double the fruit. But even a light drizzle is enough to make it grow. The point is, sincerity always produces something good. But charity done for show, that's compared to a thin layer of dust on a smooth, hard rock. One single downpour, which represents the reality of the Day of Judgment, washes it all away, leaving absolutely nothing behind. This verse, wow, it's truly profound. It teaches us that our character, how we treat people, can actually be more valuable than money. Think about it. If you can't give a donation, but you can offer a kind word, or a gentle refusal, or forgive someone, that is considered better in God's eyes than a big donation that's followed up with arrogance or humiliation. It's always, always manner over material. Every single time we think about giving, there's this little internal battle that happens. Verse 268 just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have Satan whispering in your ear, threatening you with poverty. Don't give that away, you'll become poor. He's pushing you toward being stingy. But on the other side, you have Allah's promise. He promises us forgiveness for our shortcomings and an increase in his bounty. It really boils down to a choice between fear and faith. Okay, so we've explored the beautiful path of giving. Now the Quran forces us to look at its complete and total opposite, the path of exploitation. And this section deals with one of the most serious prohibitions in all of Islam, usury, or as it's known, riba. So what is riba exactly? It's not just making a profit. It's any guaranteed increase on a loan where the lender makes money from someone else's hardship without sharing any of the risk themselves. At its core, it's seen as fundamentally exploitative because it preys on people's needs. At the time, you had people arguing, come on, what's the difference? Trade, interest, it's all just business. But verse 275 makes a crystal clear distinction. Trade is totally okay, it's lawful, because it involves your effort, it involves risk, it's entrepreneurial. You're basically a partner in the outcome. But interest? That's forbidden, because it's a guaranteed profit that comes just from the passage of time and the borrower's hardship, with absolutely zero risk for the lender. It's an exploitation of need, plain and simple. This right here is the core principle. On the surface, it looks like interest makes your wealth grow, right? the numbers go up. But this verse tells us that Allah spiritually and socially destroys it. He removes its blessing, its barakah, and in total contrast, He gives a true, blessed increase to our charities, purifying both our wealth and our souls.
And here we have what is arguably the most severe warning in the entire Quran. For anyone who insists on dealing with riba, the verse doesn't just promise a punishment later on. It announces a declaration of war from God and His messenger, right here, right now. This is a terrifying threat, and it really underscores just how destructive usury is considered to be for a just and compassionate society.
So if interest is the disease, then what's the cure? Well, the Quran provides this powerful, really practical solution that ensures fairness and, frankly, prevents disputes from even happening in the first place. It's the path of transparency, clear, documented contracts.
And here's an incredible fact for you. The verse that details all of this, verse 282 of Surah Al-Baqarah, is the longest single verse in the entire Quran. Just that fact alone shows you the immense importance that Islam places on financial clarity, on justice, and on protecting the rights of every single person involved in a transaction.
And this verse lays out a really clear step-by-step process. First things first, write it down. It doesn't matter if the debt is big or small, you document it and its specific term. Second, don't write it yourselves. Have a neutral, just scribe write it down to avoid any bias. And third, seal the deal with witnesses. You see, this super careful process isn't about mistrust. It's about creating a system of transparency that stops arguments before they start and makes sure everyone is treated fairly.
So let's zoom out for a moment and tie all these powerful concepts together. We've seen the beauty of giving, we've seen the danger of exploiting, and we've seen the wisdom of being transparent. It all points to one big idea: a holistic, God-conscious way of looking at our wealth. So what's the ultimate takeaway here? First, that our wealth is a trust from God, and sincere generosity is the best spiritual investment we can make. Second, that exploiting other people through interest is a massive transgression, while clarity through written contracts is the very bedrock of justice. And finally, the ultimate reminder: every single transaction, every intention will be judged when we all return to God, and perfect justice will be done. I want to leave you with this one final thought to reflect on. The Quran isn't just giving abstract rules. It's presenting a blueprint for an economy built on generosity, on shared risk, and on crystal clear justice. So just imagine, if our modern financial systems were fundamentally redesigned around those principles, what would our world actually look like? Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me.